A new banner was placed outside Warner Brothers Studios in Leavesden to show outrage of actress Amber Heard, continuing her leading role in Aquaman sequel. Warner calls the police and targets employees to stop Depp support. Near the end of June, a campaigner placed a small banner outside the studio in Leavesden after production of Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom started, with Heard set to continue her role for the upcoming DC film. After Johnny Depp, who was married to Heard, was dropped from the Fantastic Beasts franchise when he lost his wife-beater libel case against The Sun last year, there were calls for Warner Brothers to equally drop Heard amid domestic abuse accusations towards Depp. Heard has been accused of various acts of domestic abuse, including throwing a bottle at her ex-husband and stubbing a cigarette out on his cheek. A campaign under hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp was trending in June among people believing that there has been unfair treatment between the two actors. YouTuber Unbox PhD, who has nearly 13,000 subscribers, after covering the trial extensively, placed a large banner again this month and a continued call to hear from Warner Brothers as to why Heard has not been dropped like Depp. With a later sign, pedestrians and Warner Brothers staff were encouraged to look at the sign and take pictures so that they could get a better understanding of the movement. Police allowed the campaign to continue after questioning him at a point, while security at Warner Brothers staff originally stated that he could not take pictures by the Leavesden sign before retracting their restriction. According to the YouTuber, many people were already fixed on whether they were in favor of Johnny or Amber. He added, however, the majority of people I asked were in favor of Johnny Depp. This included a few Warner Brothers employees, including one who said he was working on Aquaman with Amber. Unbox PhD previously explained to the Watford Observer that his intention is to purely get a statement out of Warner Brothers Studios to have a better understanding of why Heard continues acting while Depp has been dropped from the Fantastic Beasts franchise. He said, I come with it a legal point of view, having studied law at university and having the judgment of the UK trial. It was clear that Amber Heard was not a credible witness, based on the misinformation that she was providing to the courts. He explained that he does not see Depp to be a saint, and he's not a Depp superfan to be defending this alleged action, but he believes there is hypocrisy considering the allegations of Heard. He continued, I think Warner Brothers should give a reason why she's still in the film. They, the public, have the right to know why Amber Heard is being kept still in the film. During the court trials, Unbox PhD would cover the trials on his channel and film footage outside. To continue his part in the campaign, the YouTuber is planning to travel to Virginia to cover key events Heard will be at, including filming locations and a premiere, attempting to turn the tide on his legal battles on both sides of the Atlantic. Johnny Depp has come up short again, and it may end up costing the former Pirates of the Caribbean star up to $100 million. As Depp awaits word on whether his bid for a new libel trial in the UK will be granted, a Virginia judge has refused the Oscar nominees' desire to see Amber Heard's big box counterclaims thrown out of the court, hoping to take advantage of the newish anti-SLAPP law in the state. Depp sought to see a slew of statements made by himself and at least one of his lawyers over the truthfulness or hoax of Heard's long-held claims of abuse during the couple's short-lived marriage erased from the case. Depp and attorney Adam Waldman's remarks in the media the past few years imply that Ms. Heard lied and perjured herself when she appeared before a court in 2016 to obtain a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp. White writes in his January 4 opinion, read it here. Moreover, they imply that she lied about being a victim of domestic abuse. He adds with a nod to the late 2018 Washington Post op-ed Heard penned on domestic violence that kicked off Depp's $50 million defamation suit a few months later. Amber Heard. In light of the hashtag MeToo movement in today's social climate, falsely claiming abuse would be surely injure Ms. Heard's reputation in the common estimation of mankind. White continued, citing another case for defamation. Therefore, this court finds that the statements contain the requisite sting for an actionable defamation claim. Although Mr. Depp's statements and those of his attorney can be understood as their opinion of what occurred, these statements nevertheless imply that Mr. Depp did not abuse Ms. Heard, the judge adds. These statements must survive demur because whether Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard is a fact that is capable of being proven true or false. After numerous delays, some related to the COVID-19 pandemic, that initial case is currently set to go to trial on May 3. Failing to get Depp's case dismissed, Heard doubled down and launched for her $100 million counterclaim last summer. That case now also looks to be headed to trial later this year. Having said that, it wasn't all green lights and parking spaces for the Aquaman star this week. Like Depp, Heard failed to have her statements protected by Virginia's February 2020 enacted anti-SLAPP. Correspondingly, Heard lost her bid under the Virginia Computer Crimes Act to claim that her ex-husband tried to taint her name. The pleading fails to demonstrate that the social media accounts communicated obscene language, suggested obscene acts, or threatened illegal or immoral acts. White said on the online bot army that Heard claims Depp unleashed on her in an effort to get her cut loose from the Aquaman franchise. Rather, it appears that Mr. Depp texted those statements privately to two of his friends, and Ms. Heard has not alleged that Mr. Depp intended for her to see them. Still, nearly 2 months after being axed by Warner Brothers with full pay from the Fantastic Beasts franchise and the fallout of losing his UK libel case against the Rupert Murdoch-owned The Sun, Depp hasn't gained significant traction in either of his current cases. Granted, the Hollywood Vampires guitarist did get White's approval last month for his The Rum Diary co-star to hand over her decade-old arrest record and documentation related to how she allocated a $7 million divorce settlement intended for charity in 2016. However, in other large portions of that wide array of irrelevant, overbroad, and privileged discovery, to quote Heard's opposition filed of December 11, Depp has rebuffed by the Virginia courts as he had been on a previous occasion in a similar move. Perhaps more importantly for Depp's tarnished and frayed reputation and career, the UK Courts of Appeal has not yet responded to the actor's fervent Christmas Eve entreaty for a new trial on that side of the pond. The litigious Depp sued The Sun over a column by its executive editor that there was overwhelming evidence the actor was wife-beater after a 16-day trial in July in the High Court that saw Depp and Heard trade accusations over their conduct during their stormy relationship. Justice Andrew Nicole decreed on November 2 that The Sun's claim was substantially true. Failing to be granted an appeal, Depp shifted gears towards salvation in the form of a new trial.